With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
So the question is, if greatest integer of x denotes the greatest integer less than or equal to x, then the value of limit x tends to 1, 1 minus x plus greatest integer x minus 1 plus greatest integer 1 minus x is. So let me first tell you that what is the greatest integer function is. So I have built here the functions graph, this greatest integer functions graph. So for any value of x, for example, let us take 0.1. So what will be the greatest integer value of such a function? It will be the greatest integer less than 0.1, which is 0. So it is right here. So for these values, the value will be 0. And for 1.1 and all these, the value will be 1. And for 2.1, the value will be 2. So like this. Now for in negative, it is interesting to see the negative. So in negative part, for minus 0.5, the value will be minus 1, because what is the greatest integer that is less than minus 0.5? It is minus 1. So like this. Okay. So let us start by calculating the RHL and LHL of this limits. So that's the main strategy. If RHL is equal to LHL, then the limits exist and we will check the value. Okay. So let's move on to calculating RHL. So let's move on to RHL. So taking RHL. So RHL will be limit x tends to 1 plus, and this will be the function 1 minus x plus greatest integer x minus 1 plus 1 minus x greatest integer. Okay. So I can apply a rule here. Limit of fx plus gx is equal to limit of fx plus limit of gx. So by applying that rule, we will get limit of x tends to 1 plus 1 minus x plus limit x tends to 1 plus x minus 1's greatest integer plus limit x tends to 1 plus 1 minus x. Okay, so this will this I will get. Now let's check all these limits. So the first one will be directly 0 if we keep this value here. 1 minus x, 1 minus 1 is 0. So this will be 0. It is fine. Now let's check this limit. This says x minus 1's greatest integer. Now we need to check the RHL. 1 plus means we are approaching 1 from this side. So let me put a value 1.1 here and see what will be the value of this limit. So if we put 1.1 here, so what will be the case? Let me see here. So this will be 1.1 minus 1, and this is 0.1. So what is the value of greatest integer 0.1? It is right here. So it is 0. So this value will be 0. Plus limit x tends to 1 plus 1 minus x. So what will be 1 minus x? 1 minus and x 1 plus. So I will put 1.1 here again. So this will be minus 0.1. And what is greatest integer of minus 0.1? So 0.1 minus 0.1 is right here. So the greatest integer value is the greatest integer less than or equal to minus 0.1, which is minus 1. So this will be minus 1. So we have got our RHL as minus 1. Now we will calculate the LHL and see if it is equal to this minus 1. Okay, so remember this. So let's move on to LHL, and the LHL is x tends to 1 minus x plus greatest integer x minus 1 plus greatest integer 1 minus x. Now we will apply the same rule here. Limit of fx plus gx is equal to limit of fx plus limit of gx. So after applying that, we will get 1 minus x plus limit x tends to 1 minus greatest integer x minus 1, and we will get limit x tends to 1 minus greatest integer 1 minus x. Okay, so these three things we will get. Now this will be again 0 plus, let's check this, x minus 1 and x tends to 1 minus. So what we are doing now, we are approaching 1 from this side. So what will be the value? Let me take any value, for example 0.9. Okay, so if we take a value as 0.9, then what we will get? We will get 0.9. Okay, so let me move it here. So we will get 0.9 minus 1, okay, in x minus 1s. So this will be minus 0.1, greatest integer of minus 0.1. And what is greatest integer of minus 0.1? It is minus 1. So this will be minus 1 plus, now greatest integer of 1 minus x. Let me put the x values again, which is 0.9. So 1 minus 0.9 greatest integer, it will give us 0.1's greatest integer, and 0.1's greatest integer is 0. So it will be 0. Now we see that LHR and RHR both are minus 1. So the value of limit at this point x is equal to 1 is minus 1. So limit, okay, so we can write RHL is equal to LHL is equal to minus 1. This is right hand limit, this is left hand limit, and it both are equal to minus 1. We have proved it. So the answer is minus 1. So the limit is minus 1. Okay, so
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.